Are you considering to start a startup? I've been speaking to a couple of mentees who have told me they want to go into business. One of them, in fact, told me she wants to go into a house service business. What are some of the things that you come your way in terms of risks and in terms of rewards? The first risk you always face as a startup is failure. Startups are risky ventures. According to some estimates, more than 90% of, in fact, somebody says out of every 10 business. I was reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Retiring Young or something to that nature. And he said out of every 10 business, 9 fails. So one succeeds. So you must keep your odds that there is a risk for failure. That means you could invest your time, energy, and money into a project that does not work or that gets overtaken by a better competitor. You could also face legal, financial, ethical challenges that could damage your reputation or career prospects. Failure is inevitable. But of course, somebody said the other side of failure is success. So, risk number one that you are going to face is the risk of failure. Risk number two that you are going to come across is the risk of stress. Juggling startups are stressful environments. You have to deal with high expectations, tight deadlines, limited resources, and sometimes constant uncertainties. You also have to balance your work, especially if you are moonlighting. If you are then gone directly into the startup, you have to balance your work and your personal life, which can be hard when you are passionate about a startup. Sometimes you find you are going for 16 hours. You could also face burnout, anxiety, depression, or even other mental issues if you don't take care of yourself and your well being. Stress is unavoidable, especially when you are starting a startup. Even if you plan and you communicate and you have a lot of support, some stress will come your way. It goes with the territory. Another risk you're going to come across is sacrifice. Startups require sacrifice, they require a lot of time. You compromise your benefits, your security, your stability of a regular job. You might have to work long hours. You take a pay cut, of course, and you forego vacations and holidays. You are late in paying your school fees for your kids sometimes because of startups. You find your bills are falling due and you have not been able to clear them. You could also lose some of your relationships. By the way, even spouses may depart you when you have a startup because it is eating into your security. Starting and it is giving you sleepless nights. You may lose the relationships that are not worth it. Hobbies and interests may also be sacrificed initially. So sacrifice is necessary. It can be harmful, but it is part of the risk that you are going to find coming your way. Now, what are the rewards you are likely to come across? Number one is maybe being your own employer, freedom. Probably you have been taking a lot of flack from your bosses, but somebody told me, I think it was the late Chris Kirubi used to tell us, one company I worked for, that if you hang a coat in my office, when you start your own gig, your own startup, the people you employ there are going to hang a coat. So whatever goes around comes around. So one of the benefits of rewards of startups is growth. Startups are a great opportunity for personal and professional growth. You get to work with something you care about, with a team of like-minded people. Of course, you get you get you get hurt sometimes. I remember one client I had, and I was reminding somebody who had referred me to that client We were helping them develop a woman conference within the circle industry, circles in Kenya, societies that give loans. So they were doing a women leaders conference, women who are within the circle. And I was consulting for them in terms of the event preparation. And they went away with my money. But anyway, there's always, you feel rewarded in terms of growth. I've just finished some, I was giving marketing technical support for one of the parastatals that want to be commercialized. And I told the group leader, because I was in a group, that I felt I grew. There was some personal growth, some professional growth. You also get to face new challenges. Sometimes I find myself in the motor industry, consulting there. I find myself in the financial services. Right now, I'm consulting for a financial service client. I find myself in the circle business. Sometimes I find myself in military circles, consulting for the Kenya military. I find myself consulting for NGOs. So you find you get new challenges, you experiment with different solutions, you adapt to changing markets, customer needs. So growth, you feel rewarded in terms of growth and the opportunities it brings along with it. Another reward that comes with the startups is that you have freedom, as I said. You work in some liberating environment. You have some element of autonomy. You can be creative, you can be flexible away from your traditional job. You get to make your own decisions, and when you have people you are working together with, of course, you fertilize each other. You also get to shape your own culture, values, vision. You could also have more control now over your schedule, location, income, freedom. You feel empowered, fulfilling. And of course, you have to be responsible and accountable. And as you get employees on board, of course, there is always the rigor of training them to be able to catch up with what you require done. Maybe another benefit of startup is that probably have some fun. I don't know what you call fun, but you do what you love. You work with people you enjoy at times. You work in a suitable way that is suiting you. And of course, you need to celebrate a milestone along the way. Learn from your mistake, because mistakes will come. But enjoy the surprises that come your way. So, if you are thinking of starting a startup, this is the moment. There is always what you call the founders period, founders moment. This is your founders moment. I do not want to romanticize and tell you it's going to be a thrilling adventure. However, you keep overcoming the challenges, and the reality will start setting in, and you'll find that you have accomplished something for yourself. Remember, if this is your first time to be on this particular channel, click the subscription button so that anytime you upload new content, you are the first one to be able to consume it. God bless.